Good morning, everybody. Happy coffee talk with Jean. Jean Ketcham with Aging But Dangerous. Oh, I hope you all are having a good day. And it's sunshiny here in Minneapolis, and it's gorgeous, a good, gorgeous fall day. And I'm sure it is where you're living too. I'm sure you're having great weather. Anyway, hope you are. But I just have to I have to tell you about this because I share everything with you guys. I tell you everything. It goes out to millions of people probably. But anyway, I told you how I did not know until probably a couple of years ago, if that you could go and don't get crazy, but I didn't know you could go on YouTube and or you could Google or you could go on and get anything you wanted and watch a tutorial and it shows you how to do things. I had no idea you could do that. Now, maybe it's because I'm 80, almost 81, and I didn't just wasn't up with the times or what, but I did not know that. Anyway, I do love going on, when I'm killing time, to watch some of these tutorials on hair or makeup or, whatever. It's just all that fluffy stuff, but it is fun. So I saw this one where, you could put dry shampoo in your hair. And so I bought some dry shampoo. And this morning I thought, I really need to do my hair and I don't feel like it and I don't want to take the time. And so I sprayed in the shampoo and oh my gosh, you guys, it's like, it's unbelievable. It's like I just shampooed my hair. Anyway, that's just a little fun fact that, I had fun discovering. So anyway, I want you today, well, first of all, please share that share button for me. I really would love it if you would share my video with some of your friends. But the question today is, and I want you all to write and let me know, who has had the biggest impact on the person that you have become? Now, that's heavy, I know, for a lot of people, but I think I got to thinking back. You have to kind of think about it, but there's two women that were really influential in my life. One was Olive, and she lived right next door to us, and she was an older woman, and the whole neighborhood complained about her. But when we moved in, she was just so nice to us, and it was like one of those you just clicked. And she was, and then our daughter was born, and we'd take her over there, and oh, you guys, they would stand. She and her sister would stand over this little baby and just touch her little fingers and her little toes, and they were just enthralled with this little baby and this little girl. So we would take Olive out. She loved to go. She was in her 80s, and she would love to go to Burger King or whatever it was that we'd take her for a hamburger. And oh, Deb Marie just wrote in and said, "Dry shampoo is amazing." I just am so excited, Deb, because I discovered this. Oh my gosh, that's exciting. Anyway, so Michelle is like about 2 years old, and she's sitting on Olive's lap in the back seat. And Olive, Olive is very, very wrinkled, and she has this bright red hair. She dyes her hair red, and all the little kids in the neighborhood are scared to death of her, the way she looked. And Michelle's sitting on her lap, and Michelle reaches up and she puts her hands on Olive's face, and she said, "Aunt Olive, you are so beautiful." And Olive looked at me. I turned around. Olive looked at me and she winked and she said, "Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder." And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, yes. So, I mean, I learned so many lessons from her. And then the second woman, there's two of them. The second woman was the woman that I moved in next door to, and she owned this clothing store. That's the store that I ended up. Well, she had three. We opened up three stores. I opened up three stores with her, and ended up buying the last one. But anyway, and she was. I learned so many things from her. Her name was Audrey. She was about 25 years older than I was, but oh my gosh, she looked fabulous. I didn't know until years. I kept thinking, why we'd go on these buying trips together down in Dallas, and I would look at her and she would just this flawless face. And I'm like, she's so much older than I was. I was in my 30s and I didn't look all that bad. But I would look at her and I'd like, what in the world? I'd say, what are you using? What are you doing? And finally, she admitted to me that she had had a facelift. Now, this is like years ago when facelifts, I mean, this was like, oh my gosh, 45 years ago when or 50, I don't know, it's been a long time. Facelifts were not in at that time. But at least it answered my question because I was I thought, oh my gosh, how does this woman have such great, tight skin? But I learned so much from her. And I had so much fun with her. I had more fun with her than I did my own friends that were my age. But we'd go to get on that plane and go to Dallas on buying trips, and we'd have champagne in the morning on our trip. And I mean, I just laughed all the time with her. It was so fabulous. I have such fond memories. But the one thing I learned from her, and maybe I've said this on these videos before, I don't know, but the one thing I learned from Audrey was one day in the store, she I said to her, it was kind of really slow, and I thought, oh, it was raining, and of course every time it was slow, then she'd bring out the champagne and we'd have a glass of champagne, which was really fun. And I'm like 35 years old or something, and she's like 50 at least, or more, 54 probably. And so I looked at her, I said, do you ever just think, like maybe you shouldn't be doing this, or that, you're tired of it, or something? And she said, listen, honey, let me tell you something. When the day comes that I don't like what I'm doing, that's the day I change it. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is so true. And I raised my daughter that way. If your life is not the way you want it right now, then you change it, and I thought I really learned that lesson. I remember it like it was yesterday when she told me that. And I just, I learned so much from this woman. She was so easygoing. She was I mean, I started doing the buying for her, and I didn't know what in the heck I was doing. And I could have bankrupted her because she and her husband were, they didn't have all that much money. But luckily, I was able to pick out the right clothes, and we had fashion shows and everything to sell the clothes. But she was just so easygoing. She always made me feel good. She was just and she was a good cook, which I loved. And I lived right next door to her. So I learned so much from her, and just like I learned from Olive. And I do think, somebody said to me the other day, I think having older friends is really important. And I'm like, well, I'm so old now, I don't know anybody that's older than I am that's in my world right now. So I don't, I'm about the oldest, but I do, I look back and I think, yes, those two older women, they were very influential in my life. So write me and tell me who was influential in your life and who has helped you become the woman that you are today, because I know that there's somebody. Now, I want to leave with this. We put this on our this is a post we put on our Facebook, and probably a lot of you saw it, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And said, don't wait for a door to open, walk up to it and turn the knob. And I love that because it's so true. Don't wait for that door to open up for you. You make it happen, go in there. And this one woman writes back and she says, it's locked. And then I wrote back and said, well, kick it in. It's like so funny. But I love that. Don't you love that? I mean, don't wait for a door to open, walk up and turn the knob, or kick it in, or do whatever you need to do to get through that door. And I always talk about how, don't ever put me in a box, because of my age or because of my hair, because of anything. Because if you do put me in a box, it better have a door on it, because I'm getting out of there. And I'll get out of there one way or the other. I'm not going to be put in a box. So anyway, my darlings, hit the share button. Share this with one of your friends. I would love that. That would really make me feel good if you would do that. And then we'll talk on Friday and have a glorious week. Let's just keep staying calm, stay strong, stay positive, and we'll get through all of this. So kisses.